Hey guys, welcome to the seventh episode of The Next Door Engineers to Heroes. Welcome Rohish, Mufdal, and Pranit for the show. Uh, Rohish, a German national having roots in India, has a multicultural and multi-dimensional experience of 15 years in the energy management and power plant industry worldwide. He is a mechanical engineer by profession and working in the Indian solar industry for the past 2 years. Understanding the psyche of customers and offering a true saving value solution with the highest quality and safety feature is what he believes in. He loves trekking, jogging, swimming, and cycling. He believes that a healthy mind leads to a healthy body, which resonates in startup business culture. Welcome, Rohish, once again for the show.
Thank you.
Our next engineer in today's show is Mufdal. Mufdal is a design engineer turned online educator who started off designing chassis and suspension, which he did over 6 years. He quit his job to pursue the dream of becoming an educator and independent innovator. Currently teaching multiple courses online to over 9,000 plus students from 100 plus countries. He is working to uplift engineering education and facilitate innovation at scale. He believes that the most important need of the day is to develop self learners and innovators who just need the right tools and knowledge. Welcome, Mufdal, once again.
Thanks a lot, Rohit.
Our third engineer for today's episode is Pranit. Many high paying courses in the market lack fundamental teaching and concept learning. This sparked Pranit to start an institute of his own, renouncing regular 9 to 5 design engineer job. Before plunging deep into training, he took up freelancing assignment, completed over 200 projects in a very short span. Currently, he spends most of his time creating content for his e-learning platform, focused on building 200 plus courses in mechanical engineering. Courses that are application based, industry based, enable engineers to stand on their own feet. Welcome, Pranit, to the show.
Thank you so much, Rohit, for giving this opportunity.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Guys, before we jump into the crux of the meeting, which is freelancing, which is standing on their own feet, micro entrepreneurship, and all, I would like to start knowing a little bit about you and your accomplishment. Rohish, would you like to go first?
Yeah, okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Rohish Kalvit and I'm originally from Pune in India, but I have studied and worked in Germany, and that's how I have my German nationality. Uh, so you can see the difference of, especially if you take the engineering field, you can see a lot many difference in the Indian education system and the German education system, and German being the core of mechanical engineering, civil and electrical engineering. You can actually feel a lot many qualitative aspects, the general thinking of the students who are studying there and the professionals who are working there. So it was a great learning experience for me to go there and actually see how international students think a lot, what are their different ideas for engineering, what are their concepts and such things. And that was a great benefit for me to study and come back to India and actually implement those things. Now, as I was introduced here by Rohit, I now work in the solar industry and try to help the industry creating awareness and giving lot many engineering aspects to it, which starts from safety and quality. So I'll be elaborating more further on these topics right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was very nice of you, Rohish. Mufdal, you would like to go next? Tell us a
Sure.
little bit about you and your accomplishments so far.
Hello everyone. Mufaddal here. So I'm basically a localite. I'm in Chennai. I'm based in Chennai. So I basically studied in college, in the local college over here, and then I started my job in Mahindra and Mahindra, where I was working as a design engineer. So I was in the chassis and suspension design department. And during the 6 years which I spent there was one realization which I got during that time, that these skills which we are applying and designing stuff, these skills are very useful in overall throughout the world. So why shouldn't I just make a platform in which it can be accessible to everyone, so that I can teach what I've learned over here, and also to become independently work on my ideas. So I had a lot of ideas when I was working there, but the thing was, when we want to implement something new, we have to go through the company process, right? So I wanted to do something on my own, and something which I am the owner of. And so I decided that I'll quit and work on my ideas and bring to fruition the vision I had, and that is what I'm doing currently. So currently I'm as an educator, so I teach courses. So I have courses in topics like GD&T, sheet metal design, and automotive product development, which I teach primarily on Udemy to design engineers, to engineering students. So that's my passion. I love those subjects, and I when I quit the job, it was not like for I didn't want to continue in that, because I was really passionate about all of that, but I wanted to do something which I am independent of the like a job structure. Also, I started my freelancing projects also during that time, and that gave me a lot of real world experience as to how we should go about solving problems independently, because in a company it's different, and when you're working independently it's totally different. So a lot of the facilities which we are having in companies are generally not available when we are working as individuals. So that's the thing which I took away from the learning which I had. And currently I'm working to develop a knowledge resource for fellow design engineers and also engineering students, which can help them and facilitate innovation. So that's my vision, to facilitate innovation by creating learning material which is useful for them to self-learn. Basically, I want them to be self-learners. So that is what I generally teach in my courses, and generally what I imbibe in the students which I teach. Yeah. So that's about me, and that's about my vision. Yeah.
Very nice, Mufdal. You are into a great adventure, creating self-learners. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes, Pranit, what about your story?
Yeah, I will not take so much time. So basically, I'm located from Pune, and I'm a mechanical engineer having 5 years of industrial experience, 2 years of quality engineer, and 3 years being a design engineer, professional pro design engineer, working in one MNC company. So it all started from the college duration. So initially I had a thought कि मैं इंजीनियरिंग करूँगा कुछ तो इंजीनियरिंग जैसा करने के लिए, नॉट जस्ट फॉर द मार्क्स और द सर्टिफिकेट. So during that time, for the 2 years, I was a part of Supra SE event, which is a event which we have to manufacture a F1 type 4-wheeler student car, and that was the time where my design career actually started. And after that, I got placed in one MNC company. And just to be frank, the first day, the manager asked, "Do you know Creo software?" I said, "No, I just know a SolidWorks software." They said, "Okay, you have to learn so much things then in the company." That was my first day in the company. And after spending 2 years in that company, that same manager asked me, "Now, Pranit, you have to train a new freshers and current employee of the company." You can say that was the first achievement for me in the company, where first day was like I don't know anything about the Creo software. And after spending 2 years, the same management offered me to give the training to the company employees and the new freshers. That was the time where I felt we can do something extra or new things. So from there on, we just started working on this freelancing activity. But after seeing this professional career, we realized there are so many engineers who came up with the certifications, and for the interviews, usually मैं इंटरव्यू खुद लोगों के लेता था. उस टाइम पर I used to see people saying, "सर कुछ easy दो ना CAT टेस्ट में, मुझे जॉब चाहिए बट कुछ easy दो." I said, "Guys, you have mentioned 1.5 lakh rupees course you have done in your career. You have spent 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupees for this certification, and you are saying give me easy task to do." There was a time where we started working on this activity which we are currently doing on. It got evolved day by day. But initially the target was whatever we are learning from 9 to 5, the focus was जो भी हम लोग सीख रहे हैं वो evening को हम लोग deliver करेंगे. Then we started freelancing activity. It will be too lengthy story, but I will just try to summarize it in a short. Then we started some personalized training, then freelancing activity. And in end of 2018 December, I realized the actual problem in Indian education system is not about the content is not getting delivered to the student, but it was like industry prefer to do a standardized process. They prefer to standardize the content. Basically, why don't we prefer that same concept in the Indian education system? जहाँ पर हम लोग जो कंटेंट रेगुलरली हम लोग सिखा रहे डे बाय डे ईयरली वो क्यों ना हम लोग स्टैंडर्डाइज करें एंड वो स्टूडेंट तक हम लोग एकदम अफोर्डेबल रेट में पहुँचाएं. That was our mission, which we are currently working on, where we are focusing towards creating 200 plus engineering courses which are actually industry oriented. And I really मतलब खुशी ये हुई कि चेन्नई से जो सर, सॉरी सर आपको मुझे नाम अभी याद नहीं है, महमूदुल्लाह जी, क्या नाम है?
Mufaddal.
Yeah, right. Actually, I have seen your videos on Udemy when we were doing a market study. It was really nice to have you on this chat. That's what.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
All right,
Thanks a lot.
that was very nice of you, Pranit. All three of you gave a very nice introduction of what you have achieved so far, that you have been embarking on. The next thing is but this transition of from employer to freelancer, it doesn't happen. Sometimes it is incidental, sometimes it is accidental. People think that you lost the job and then become freelancer, or for some people it's like you keep doing the freelancing task while on the job, and then one fine day you figure out that okay, I am being swamped here, so let me take a call here by quitting the job and do the full time. So some are incidental and some are accidental. What was your case, Rohish? Would you like to go first on this again?
Yeah. So I'll tell a story to all the people who are listening here. See, the first case of entrepreneurship came to me when I rejected my Infosys offer while I was selected during my mechanical engineering days. I rejected Infosys and I said, no, I have to stick to mechanical industry. A reason being is I do not understand IT at all. I'm a mechanical person. When I feel things, I understand this. So that was my first step towards mechanical engineering. That gave me a push and impetus to go towards mechanical engineering, think about entrepreneurship. Then I started working with Cummins in Pune, and while working there, I started understanding the basics of engineering and how the market works and everything. That drove me towards going to Germany. I studied in Germany, and that was the turning point of those 9 years in Germany, where I said, okay, apart from my job, there are so many Indians coming to Germany and they do not understand the language, they do not understand how to travel within Europe, and they come on deputation in Germany. So that's how was my startup idea about cross-cultural tourism. That was my first actual step towards non-technical entrepreneurship. So I used to take people who are working there in Germany to neighboring countries like Switzerland, Austria, and also tourism, cycle tourism, cultural tourism within Germany. But then I said, okay, this is something interesting. I'm very good in project management or handling people management. So maybe I should use my technical knowledge and these traits of mine to develop something. That was the reason for me to come back to India. And I said, okay, my strong working experience and the knowledge is in the solar industry or in the energy management business. So I should come here and start. And that's where 2 years back, I came back to India and I started my own venture. And now today it's a private limited company. And it's a great thing because handling people, that too with highest quality deliverables and safety aspects, is what is my pursuit that people should understand here. Even though it's a labor worker who is working with me, or an engineer who is working with me, they should understand that even a slightest idea which you have in your head, it should always think of quality, safety, and timely deliverable. So that is what my push is, and that's a part where I say, okay, maybe the 9 to 5 job was good, but I am pretty much enjoying the 24/7 availability of entrepreneurship to the people and my customers. Thank you.
Fantastic. The measure of success is in quality, service, and deliverables.
Exactly.
That's very nice. Mufaddal, you have been a very good trainer. I have followed you on your social media pages and all. Also, I'm sure other listeners here also have followed you. I mean, there are two questions. I would start with asking you one here. When is the right time for an engineer to jump into, freelancing, or he thinks that okay, fine, I have learned enough. Let me start building something of my own, or choose freelancing, something like that. When is the right time? What do you think about this?
Yeah, so I've thought a lot about this actually, and a lot of people come to me and ask me also in LinkedIn and other places also, because they are having certain similar aspirations. So they don't want to continue in the job; they want to do something else. So what I think is that the design engineer, if they are looking into going into like a technical entrepreneurship or technical freelancing, then I would say that 5 to 6 years to learn about the trade and to learn about product development, the processes which go into a company, how work takes place, what kind of people do what kind of work, and to at least get to know as to how basically things happen in the industry. I would say it is 5 years is minimum. 5 years they should spend minimum to understand those. And if they are looking at using their expertise in a certain area, for example, if it is simulation or if it is CAD, then till the level that they reach that they are satisfactorily an expert, that independently they can do projects, until they get that confidence, they should be within the company and learn all the tools and all the things in the company, and then they should take the decision. That is what my thought is.
Oh, that's interesting. Some of them think that 20 years, because based on the interviews that I have done previously, in fact, I would like to take a quote on what happened in the last interview. A senior person who believes that 25 to 30 years time you have to spend in a domain to be a domain specialist, a subject matter specialist, is what was his opinion. Interesting to know that a young engineer would think that 5 to 6 years is sufficient. I mean, these are different opinions coming from different people. It is one's perspective.
Yeah, that depends wholly on the role and the exposure which one is getting. So if, like, for example, if you're getting that much amount of good exposure in which your learning opportunities are much more, then I would say 5 to 6 years should be sufficient. But that is a call which a person has to make.
Correct.
So according to me, that's the thing. Yeah, like you said, multiple different people have different perspectives. So if, for example, if I have decided that I want to do freelancing or I want to do entrepreneurship before joining the job, then I will look at what all the opportunities which I can learn, which I can accomplish that vision. So when you go into a job thinking about that, then 5 to 6 years I think should be sufficient for you to learn the tools of the trade. That is my perspective.
Yeah, your take on that. I totally agree. So Pranit, I've got a question for you, which I think you will find it interesting. The skills and the most demanding skills in freelancing industry, or not just freelancing industry, any industry to stand on their own feet. What skills you think are very important, considering the current day scenario? You'll have to think of current day scenarios. A lot have changed in the last 1 year. So, keeping that in mind, what do you think is the most important skill?
So, whatever the skill I will be talking about, it's about personal experience. It may vary, like Mehmoodalaji said, 5 to 6 years, 10 years, it depends on exposure, right? But the very first thing, how you spot the opportunity, it is the main important thing for anyone, whether a fresher or student working or any person. The way of looking at the opportunity, it is the most important thing. Like you can say, there is a one opportunity, like you are saying, Rohit ji giving one project work. I being a fresher will be looking at is, will I get the money? और सेकंड पर्सपेक्टिव विल बी लाइक, ओ नो, मनी छोड़ दो लेकिन मुझे कुछ तो एक्सपोजर मिलेगा, मुझे कुछ तो सीखने को मिलेगा. I don't know whether we call it a skill or not, but your perspective towards spotting the opportunity, it is the very most important thing. What skills we need to build on. हम लोग अगर ये बात करें कि हमको क्या इग्नोर करना चाहिए या फिर हमको किसके ऊपर फोकस रखना चाहिए, इंस्टेड ऑफ टॉकिंग अबाउट द स्किल्स. वेरी फर्स्ट विच वी सेड कि हाउ यू आर स्पॉटिंग द अपॉर्चुनिटी इज द फर्स्ट पॉइंट. सेकंड, आई विल से we have to study before going to approach for taking the project. We have seen so many engineers and other people also who are just coming like, we have this portfolio, we can do your project work, but they are not able to understand what is our basic requirement is. Being an engineer, being a freelancer, I think the very most important thing you must understand, or in other words, in a dialogue we'll say, you must be able to keep yourself in the customer's shoes. You must see what is his actual requirement is. It's not just about designing, it's not just about software, it's not just about how it looks and how it feels. It should be like what he actually looking for after completing the project. What is his actual pain point? ये अंडरस्टैंड करना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, एंड यही एक सबसे बड़ी क्वालिटी हो सकती है एज अ फ्रीलांसर. अगर आपने क्लियर कर लिया ना, यू नो व्हाट, ये 200 प्रोजेक्ट, 300 प्रोजेक्ट, डेफिनेटली यू विल गोइंग टू make so much project and as well as money, but this is the first thing I'd say कि ये important होगी. And later on when we can say you must have the domain knowledge, you must be hard working, smart working, ये तो रहेगा ही, but first important for me is you must understand what their requirement is the first and most important skill which I will suggest कि कोई भी fresher हो या फिर student working engineer हो, कि this is the four most important thing for to be a successful maybe freelancer.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. I thoroughly agree with the Praneeth, which has highlighted is really important point, that empathy is and understanding the customer requirements is the first and foremost thing. I totally agree with that 100%.
Now, in the beginning, you said understanding the requirement is very important before taking up a project, isn't it? Now, you have understood. Imagine a situation, you have understood the project properly, and then you start diving deep into the project. You are halfway through the project, and then in the middle, you realize that this is not your cup of tea, or this is, you are getting swamped with this. Project, you're not earning enough, so what you will do at that point in time?
Okay, so I will give my personal experience. I will give you two examples. First one, when I was working as a freelancer, and second one, when we handed over some project, our design project, to a second person. Initially, Mahindra, which we had a project like we have to design a data logger case. I think Dalji knows the data logger, its work, because they are working in the automobile industry. So data logger is the instrument mainly which we used for the testing purpose, truck testing purpose. Okay, so I will give the two examples. First one, my personal project when I was working as freelancer, and second, when we started giving the project to the other people. First, the project was like Mahindra and Mahindra. It was the project like data logger testing. It was the testing equipment which we used for the truck on road to record what is the road cycle and to use it for testing the vehicle inside the company. So the customer just demanded that we need to design data. Actually, we both approved that I will design it. Then they said, you just do one thing. You come to our office and you design this equipment. I started designing it. They said, okay, ये design approved नहीं है, मुझे दूसरा revision चाहिए, तीसरा revision चाहिए. ये होता है freelancing work में. 1 revision, 2 revision, 3 revision होता है. At the end, they said, okay, now you have to go there, collect some samples, and you have to consider it for designing. I said, it's not my cup of tea. Means actually, I'm here to design the equipments, not to like supplier से काम तो मैं नहीं करने वाला ना यहाँ पर. They said, नहीं, you are a freelancer. Why we hire you for this project? So like, अगर हम लोग उनको अंडरस्टैंड नहीं करेंगे उनको क्या चाहिए, दे वर लुकिंग फॉर द सिंगल पर्सन हु कैन डिजाइन इट, हु कैन मैन्युफैक्चर इट, हु कैन अरेंज द पार्ट एंड असेंबल टेस्ट. I said you are giving just me 2,000 rupees for this project and you have taken my 2 months. How is this possible? So ये proper understanding, it was not a huge issue but it may happen to anyone. अगर ये सीन अगर थोड़ा बड़ा अगर हुआ, डेफिनेटली अलग अलग चीज़ें हो सकती हैं. एंड सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल आई विल गिव कि जहाँ पर हमने हमारा डिज़ाइन वर्क जो था या फिर डिज़ाइन एक्टिविटीज जो हमारा ई लर्निंग प्लेटफॉर्म है उसका हमने डेवलपमेंट वर्क आउटसोर्स किया था. यू नो व्हाट, it's been 1 year completely, still they don't know what design actually do. And half of the work we have paid full money and half of the work we have done, me and my co-founder. It is the thing which
completely going against the freelancing industry. Anyway, no, please go on. I would like to.
What is the worst thing happen? No, what is the worst thing happen? We may have to go legal action करना हो, and you know what? We have done it. It's we have signed NDA. We have signed so many mail writing हो. मैं message देना चाहूँगा जो भी listeners होंगे. Whatever your communication is, kindly keep each and every point in the mail communication. तो that is what the real proof is. WhatsApp message काम नहीं करेगा. पुलिस वाला बोलता है WhatsApp काम नहीं करेगा. You have to keep each and every point. भले वो कुछ भी हो, thank you, good night, जो भी हो, you have to keep everything in a mail communication.
Good point.
If अगर उसने track अगर miss कर लिया, it will ruin your all day, all night, all life.
You know, those were interesting stories, Pranit.
So
and also painful to understand that you have gone through a lot of agony in freelancing world. Although you are a successful freelancer, I'm just thinking of those people who doesn't understand how to hire a freelancer. For those people, it would be a terrific task. See, what I recommend here is I'm setting the expectation right. See, often I hire freelancers. In fact, I have also gone through whatever you have gone through, Pranit, in the past. But now, whenever I give a task to a freelancer, I hire a lot of freelancer for my, it could be for my website, it could be for my personal thing, anything for that matter. I write down the list of things that I want, and I am very much clear in my mind and in my document that I have written what all things that I want in points 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20. That's all. So a user who reads it has to understand, and you keep asking him the question whether have you understood these points that you have written. Set the expectations right from the beginning. Then there is the ambiguity, the disputes that we get after the project is in the middle or after the project is almost over. We can reduce a lot of these friction points. Anyway, these are some of the things that I have also gone through. I thought I'll share this this platform. Moving on to the next question, Rohish, I want to hear from you. Is there a playbook? There's a lot of playbook in the startup ecosystem. Startup world has got a lot of playbook. So a freelancing industry has got any playbook. To become a successful freelancer, is there a playbook? And if at all this, I'm sure it is not there. Or if you want to write a playbook, what all point would you think would be right to go in that book?
See, such books are written in a very generic manner based on experiences of n number of people. But you are a freelancer and you have to write your own story. So a playbook should be written by only you. No one can write that for you. No, not even your parents, not even your teachers or your employers or your colleague or even your co-partner in your freelancing. You have to write your own book. That depends. Now what has been discussed till now is that you should understand the needs of the customers and the needs of the market and your vendors and such things. So it's really important because each and every client is different, their ideology is different, their approach is different. So if you have a book and you follow those rules, maybe that will not apply to a client in Maharashtra or to a client in Gujarat or a client in Tamil Nadu, for example. It's altogether a different ball game. So you have to write your own book with rules and you have to actually study properly, like to what client you are approaching. I mean, a thorough technical study, market study, and a deep understanding like what industry the client is working into. So that's the basic thing what we have been telling from the start is try to understand the requirements of the customer, and you should be very much transparent in communication right from the start. Even though the person who is sitting in front of you, whether that may be a vendor or your client or your supplier, doesn't matter. If you are straight, transparent right from the start, the ambiguity is gone, and you don't feel the pressure later on during the projects. And there are certain points where you don't feel like embarrassed, or you don't feel like, okay, how should मैं कैसे बताऊं उसको and everything. This is something. So all these part and parcel of your rule book and your book which you have to define for yourself. And I completely work on those principles कि मुझे मेरी book खुद से लिखनी है. मैं किसी I can hear what your stories are, success stories, but it's
And
my
take,
success story. Yeah.
yeah. Very nice. Write your own biography, which autobiography, to and depend on that. Yeah, very nice. Mufdal, I often wonder people who got into, who get into freelancing at a age of yours, 30 plus and all, will often have this family pressure or societal pressure to get back to the corporate world. How did you cope with that? You are a trainer now. You've been doing this for so many years. How did you cope with that? I'm sure this question is bringing smile in Pranit's face, so he will have something to take on this as well. I want to hear your opinion first.
Yeah, so luckily I've had a very good support from my wife. So during that time, she supported me really well. So in the first year, in the first 1.5 year, anybody, everybody has a similar story that, the earnings are not that great in the first 1 year, 1.5 year. During that time, I had a good support from my wife and my family. So I was able to, sail through that time. And yeah, that was it. Then it picked up, and yeah, it's going good now.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Pranit, you have got any story on this?
I think people will like it.
Please.
It was 2018 March when I resigned from the company, and for almost 3 months, मैंने घर पर बताया नहीं था कि I left my company. I used to wear the same dress of company. Like जब मैं घर से बाहर निकलता, there were 2 ways, left and right. Right for my company, left for my current office. For the 3 months continuously, I was wearing the same T-shirt of company, taking a right turn, and then taking from 1 kilometer away से फिर मैं U-turn लेके फिर से अपने ऑफिस पर आके काम करता था. After 3 months, I realized कि अभी थोड़ा सा काम अच्छे से चल रहा है. I know कि अभी मुझे क्या करना है. Then at the evening time, I was so hungry, so I said कि पापा भूख लगा है, खाना ला के दे सकते हो क्या घर पे. तो ऑफिस के सामने आने के बाद I said एक चीज़ बताना है. They said what? कि मैंने जॉब छोड़ दी. तो सेड कब? मतलब 3 months before. They were shocked. उन्होंने दिखाया नहीं, but they said कि और 1 साल रुका रहता, थोड़ा अच्छा पेमेंट हुआ रहता, ऐसे वैसे XYZ शादी हुई रहती. फिर लगे अगर शादी हुई रहती ना, छोड़ दो ये सपने, अपना अच्छा घर करने का या फिर अच्छा कुछ बड़ा बनने का छोड़ दो, ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है. सेम मेरे पापा ने 1 month बिफोर डेयरी चालू किया है, एंड उनका जॉब कोविड की वजह से चला गया था. एंड दे सेड कि अच्छा हुआ तूने स्टार्ट किया, अभी मुझे समझ रहा है कि बिजनेस की वैल्यू क्या होती है. एंड इट्स लाइक कि इट्स अप्स एंड डाउन्स है, थोड़े स्ट्रगल्स वगैरह पीरियड होता ही है. एंड फैमिली सपोर्ट मैंने लिटरली अगर बता दूँ, मे बी ये एरोगेंट लगेगा लिसनर्स को, बट मैंने लिटरली अगर बता दूँ, आई इग्नोर्ड देयर वर्ड्स कि अरे जॉब करो, 9 to 5 काम करो, ये बड़े बड़े होटल में जाना अपना काम नहीं है, हम लोग गरीब लोग हैं, तो अपना लाइक ऐसे फैमिली. बट लिटरली आई इग्नोर्ड इट. मतलब फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग, मैं मॉर्निंग को घर से 9 बजे निकला तो रात को 12 बजे घर पे जाता हूँ. जस्ट घर पे जाऊँगा, सोऊंगा, खाना के फिर से रिटर्न आ जाऊँगा. लाइक अगर आपको कुछ लाइफ में अगर करना है, आई पर्सनली फील यू हैव टू बी लोनली. आपको लोनली पाथ लेके चलना पड़ेगा. नहीं तो अगर हम लोग भीड़ में अगर चले गए तो हम लोग भीड़ जैसे रह जाएंगे. वी हैव टू टेक आवर सेपरेट रूट. इफ अगर नहीं है तो वी हैव टू क्रिएट आवर ओन रूट. दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट टू से.
See, there are two aspects to this. One is take a different route, but not travel lonely. I think in the journey of being standing on your own feet, you have to build team. You have to
Right.
work with a team where you can build a solid company, or scale yourself, scale individual. So I got your point. Rohish, I'll move on to the next question. It is, you have worked in corporate before, you have worked in several companies in Germany and all those things, but now freelancing, I mean, most of the freelancers do feel that it is an individual work. And have you ever felt isolated? Have you ever felt lonely in this part of the world?
Okay. Maybe I would add that I'm not lonely, but I'm alone a couple of times.
Of course. This journey,
But
yes.
does not mean, okay, yes, you feel isolated sometimes. You feel that you are alone. There's no one to support, especially from people who from whom you expect a lot, and they do not support you in this venture of yours, or in this journey, whatever. So you feel, okay, this was not I was expecting, and maybe the timing is not wrong. The person is never wrong. Maybe the timing is wrong or something. So yes, it does happen, because in a corporate world you are in your safe environment. You get projects, you work with your team and everything. Especially you have a lot of freedom there, and you don't think is when you are working with any company, so you are part of that organization, you're responsible for maybe 30, 40, 50% of the project or something, depending on your role. But when you are a freelancer, you are 100% responsible for what your actions, how you are saying, to whom you are saying, and what are you saying. So you tend to get alone sometimes, and you have to work. You have to keep your feelings aside, and you have to go there. You have to achieve till the end. So it's definitely a learning curve that, okay, you can manage all by yourself sometimes, but you have a team of yours with whom you wish to work, but doesn't mean that they will be with you all the time. So it's perfectly fine to be alone, lonely, or whatever you call it. So it doesn't matter.
Right. That was nice, Rohish. I will move on to the next question. Muktal, are you there? I want to know from you. The first job that you took up as a trainer, when you decided to quit your regular 9 to 5 job and then move to so that portion of the journey, how did you get that first job? Can you elaborate a little?
So when I was working in Mahindra, I was working in the automotive company. That time I had before 2 years, before quitting, before that 2 years, I was working on how to transition out of the job. So I was working during that time. I was building what I'm going to do, what are the curriculums I want to teach, and I would want to share as my knowledge and whatever I have learned, and what is my vision and what is my mission, and that is what I was planning during that time. So the transition happened. I had decided that I wanted to do something like this before I joined the job itself. So I didn't want to continue in the job for a long time, but I was not getting that idea as to what should I be doing, how should I go about doing it. So that clicked me just 1 year before I quit the job, and I was preparing in that 1 year as to how will I transition out of it. I was preparing the content. I was preparing, how am I going to go about doing it? How am I going to build the audience? How am I going to attract that audience? And how basically strategizing as to how I'll be building my content as well as my courses. So that is the time which I spent. During that time, I learned the maximum actually. And before 1 or 2 years, if I quit the job, I was spending most of my time, observing and learning from the environment which I was in. Thankfully, fortunately, I would say that I was exposed to a lot of good learnings. So I had an access to a proto shop and an access to people who I can go and company atmosphere was, I would say, fortunate for me in terms of learning. So I was able to learn a lot of things, and I was able to understand the industry and what is required for people, to basically perform in those roles. So that is what my aim was, to understand that and to prepare, prepare the courses in such a way that they are able to deliver that on the job. So that was the singular vision which I was working on. And then at one point of time, I thought, okay, this is it. Now I need to quit. I need to start working on my own, because I was traveling that time. I was traveling 4 hours a day, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. And while I was traveling 3 to 4 modes of transport. So sometimes through bike, then train, then bus. It was really hectic. So I was thinking that if I have to do something, I have to quit the job and then do it. I cannot do it parallelly, because initially people say that, if you want to do something, you do it parallelly. Then once that other thing, it matures, then you quit your job.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the general advice which I have seen, but I was not able to do that. So I had to quit my job and I had to start from scratch, and I had to start to build whatever I wanted to do. And within, I would say, 6 months to 7 months, I was in a confident position to take it forward. So that is how it happened. So it was, to answer your question, it was very premeditated. Before I entered into the job, I wanted to do something like that. But I was not totally sure, because when we graduate out of college, we are totally clueless. We just, that time I had job offers in Infosys, TCS and all. People are saying you should go to IT, that's the boom industry. But I didn't want to go there, because like Rohish said, I was also like a mechanical person. I couldn't tolerate, sitting in front of computer and coding. I wanted something physical. I wanted to build things. I wanted to invent and things like that. And I wanted to see, how do I convert something which I can monetize and something which I can do independently also, without the support of, let's say, a company. So fortunately, I have friends in the hardware industry who are having good contacts in the workshops, in factories. So for me, making prototypes and sourcing stuff and selling it also is kind of it's easier for me. So I thought that with this background and with this kind of a support system, why shouldn't I try? Why shouldn't I try quitting and do something on my own, even if one thing does not click? Because I had 2 plans that time. I had one plan of being an educator, which clicked fortunately, and the other plan was to develop products, because at that time I had 3 to 4 ideas for new product development, which I had seen and which I wanted to develop. So I was thinking that if the educator thing does not work, then I'll do something over here which is much more riskier, and you'll take that more of a risk. But fortunately, the educator part of it worked, and I latched on to that, and I had a vision in that. But I had a similar vision for both, because I planned, first, if I do the product development thing, I'll do that first, and then eventually I would want to become an educator. So both of the things I'm doing parallelly currently. The second thing is more of a stealth mode kind of a thing which I'm doing, as a side-by-side thing. And as an educator, I'm doing it as a primary kind of a business which I'm doing. And yeah, that's the thing. So it was premeditated. I had to plan a lot before I quit, because if I hadn't planned, then it wouldn't have turned out the way it has. It was 1 year to 1.5 years in planning before I quit my job.
So that's a lot of planning which has gone behind. There's a lot of story behind the scenes there, and I see a very few people who plan like this. If I fail in this, I go on to the next one. Very few people. In fact, I hadn't planned my life like that. I'm sure a lot of engineers wouldn't have planned. That was very nice, Mufaddal. Praneeth,
Thank you.
now welcome. Pranit, you have completed more than 200 projects in freelancing. Some of them were small, some of
Yes.
them are very big. How do you, are there any tips? How do you grow to this scale? And I often hear that once you grow your freelancing projects from 10, 15, 20, 30, and all, you eventually turn out to be a service providing company. So is in your case. I think so. So, do you have any tips for those who want to grow like this? What tips you want to share with the listeners?
If you allow me some extra time, then I will explain in a detailed way, right? Okay. It was unplanned actually. Starting my engineering life, then maybe job life, then freelancing, and then this design activity. It's totally unplanned activity. It's an totally accidental. The reason come opportunity seems like, and we responded it.
I'm sorry to cut you short here again. We would like to know the exact tips that you would want to share with freelancers or with the budding engineers who want to grow their projects, who want to do more projects. So I'm sure you have a lot of stories, but can you compress all this?
I will just sort it out. Yeah. 2 years before I started this freelancing activity, how I started, I will just left it. But currently, after completing 3 years of freelancing work, from this June to current December, I realized I was lacking in one point, and that was a team building, frankly speaking. After spending 2 years of completing individually, I think 50 to 60 projects I individually completed. It's about jigs, pictures, little small SPMs, not huge ones, small SPMs, then little problem statement and building some product. Then I realized my 15 to 16 hours are totally getting engaged in this activity, not able to do any extra stuff like studying, understanding, meeting people, business development, marketing, nothing. If anyone want to be successful in a freelancing work or start their own company through this freelancing work and then start service industry, I will recommend focus on team building. Initially no one going to work with you कि मैंने बोला कि हम लोग कंपनी स्टार्ट करेंगे, no one going to join you, but initially आपको प्रूव करना पड़ेगा by doing some activity. ये मैं सजेस्ट करूंगा लोगों को, फर्स्ट डू सम एक्टिविटी जो कि इन्फ्लुएंस करे लोगों को टू बिलीव ऑन यू. इफ यू आर नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग लाइक कि वो आपके ऊपर भरोसा करे, देन नो इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क. फर्स्ट यू हैव टू डू समथिंग एक्टिविटी कि पीपल से कि यार ये एक्टिविटी मुझे भी करना है, मुझे भी सीखना है, प्लीज हेल्प मी, प्लीज गाइड मी. This is the time where you can influence people and you can start building your team. Once you have a team, you have a multiple hours to work with. Single person having 24 hours, like everyone listen this dialogue, every single person has a 24 hours. If you make up 4 people team, then multiply it by 4. So it's like कि अगर इंडस्ट्री अगर आपको ग्रो अगर करना है थ्रू दिस फ्रीलांसिंग वर्क, स्टार्ट एक्टिंग इन अ टीम. टीम वर्क इंपॉर्टेंट है, बाकी मैं ज़्यादा कुछ बोल नहीं सकता, बट it's the most important thing.
Yeah, I'm sure team building is one of the key aspects in any professional career, be it freelancing or be it entrepreneurship or be in corporate world. You should be good in building teams, I'm sure. Rohish, I want to ask you another question related to this pandemic. I'm sure you have your own thoughts about it. Has this changed anything in your career, which is freelancing? If so, what level of impact have you seen, and can you tell me a little about that?
Pandemic has definitely made us think in a very different manner, like what we were doing, what we should do, and everything. So it was a tremendous opportunity if you take it very positive. Especially, I tell my young fellow engineers that do not run behind big companies. Go and work with small engineering companies where you will get relevant experience which you can use it further. Okay, now related to the actual business scenario, okay, maybe automobile sector has gone down, but think otherwise that you can start working on the electric vehicles, or you can work in the battery management system, or you can work with sectors like R&D for energy storage, or maybe related to renewable energies, and a generic awareness I can see in the market nowadays. The people are thinking, okay, there are so much policies coming for renewable energies in India, and the government is pushing a lot. So people are actually calling me nowadays with lot many inquiries for solar power, or they are asking me for energy audits. Like, I want to save my energy and such things. So the young engineers actually should think on these sectors rather than thinking in a very old-fashioned way that there should be companies coming to my college to recruit me. No, I would say you should go out in the market, try to find companies which are relevant to you, and only apply there, so that those companies are relevant with for your liking, for your career. So definitely pandemic was something, or it is still something, but it is a good time to think for yourself, self realization, like what you actually want in your life.
I often hear, Pranit, go on. You have something to add here?
We'll just take 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
When we started this e-learning activity in 2019, people used to say, how you're going to earn money by making such videos? How you're going to earn? Before this pandemic happening, when we started our marketing activity in colleges or in any exhibition, people said, what is e-learning? What is this freelancing work? मतलब लिटरली अगर मैं हिंदी में कहूँ ना, मुंह पे छाले आ जाते थे ऐसे बोलते बोलते एक्सप्लेन करते करते कि दिस इज द ई लर्निंग प्लेटफॉर्म, दिस इज द फ्रीलांसिंग वर्क. जैसे है ऐसे कुछ अपनी इंडियन मार्केट में काम करेगा नहीं, मैकेनिकल इंडस्ट्री में तो कभी ई लर्निंग काम करेगा ही नहीं. But after spending these 6 years, everyone is aware of this freelancing work. And you know what? Actually, this is the blessing for our market. In a positive manner, we can say everyone is aware of work from home, learn from home, freelancing work. You can earn money without going to office. This concept is important कि हर एक जनरेशन में, अभी जो लेटेस्ट यंग जनरेशन जो है ना, उनके दिमाग में ये जाना इम्पोर्टेंट था कि यू कैन मेक अ मनी विदाउट बीइंग अ पार्ट ऑफ एनी इंडस्ट्री. आई थिंक जनरेशन में आना इम्पोर्टेंट था, जो कि आई थिंक पैंडेमिक से, ठीक है, ऑब्वियसली लॉस हुआ है, कंपनीज का हो, हमारे लोगों का हो, बट इफ यू सी द पॉजिटिव साइन, ये फ्यूचर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू देखा जाए तो जो गैप था ना डेवलप कंट्रीज एंड डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज, जो 10 years का गैप था, यूएसए हो, जर्मनी हो, ऑलरेडी दे आर अवेयर ऑफ द वर्क फ्रॉम होम एंड लर्न फ्रॉम होम एंड दिस फ्रीलांसिंग एक्टिविटी. हमको पता नहीं था, हमारी जनरेशन को, बट हुआ क्या, ये गैप जो है ना थोड़ा कम हुआ है. पीपल यूज्ड टू इट नाउ. आई थिंक इट में आने वाले साल में जनरेशन में शायद ये कुछ अपने लिए पॉजिटिव बेनिफिट लेकर आए फॉर आवर मार्केट.
Yeah, we all are hoping for that. Mufdal, I want to take some closing comments from all three of you. In fact, as Praneeth said, this pandemic has closed the gap, from being work from home or something like that. What radical change? I mean, pandemic was a radical change by itself. What other radical change you think should come in, which can disrupt independent working or freelancing working or something like that? What do you think about it?
I think that, generally speaking, I think more people have got to know about what is available for them to learn online through the pandemic, because of course there has been a lot of uptake for the e-learning during the pandemic. So now more people are aware as to what are the opportunities to learn. And of course there have been challenges in the, especially in the mechanical industry, because the way it has gone is a lot of people have suffered. That's true. But I would say that going forward, there will be more awareness as to what are the, I would say, the flexibility of skilling and knowledge gaining. That is going to be something which will be taken forward as a lessons learned, because when there is a huge issue like this, huge worldwide problem like this, how do you adapt? How do you adapt your skill set? How do you adapt your mindset to something which is totally different, which is totally new for you and the way you work? So especially concentrating on the basics. If I talk about mechanical design engineering, so mechanical design engineering as a whole if we consider all of the industries combined, some industries have maybe have gone up, some industries have gone down, but overall the fact remains that if your basics are strong, if you are able to adapt to whatever the product development which is taking place, that is a very plus point for you as an engineer. So that is the thing, because if like you become a specialist in a certain area, and if say for example I'm saying that if your basics are not strong, and if that specialization has suffered very much in the pandemic, then you are in a position as to you have to relearn your basics, and you have to learn to adapt your skill set to a different product or a different domain. So I think what this pandemic has taught is your basics and your ability to adapt to different environments and to different skill sets, and to learn different knowledge set is the prime importance in this current age, because in 1 month the whole world can change. So your mental flexibility has to be such that you should be, the basic skills like critical thinking, like creative problem solving, all of those basic skill sets which you apply across, whether you are developing a software product or whether you're developing a physical product or whether you're developing any type of product, those skill sets will be applied, right?
What I was thinking is every fresh engineer he or she should think like उनको क्या चाहिए लाइफ में, and it's really important because freelancing is very good, but it's not really easy to enter into freelancing market, and there's a lot of competition, and considering the pandemic, many people are coming into freelancing thing and everything, but it's really difficult to sustain in the market unless you have something USP of your own. So you should think properly a lot. Like we have Mufaddal and everything, or even myself. I did lot of thinking of almost 1.5 to 2 years कि मुझे life में क्या करना है. Why should I go into freelancing or entrepreneurship? And then you have some solution because you meet so many people every day. You take their ideas, you consume something, you throw away something. So it's really up to you during this pandemic time, like why you should do this and what is the best for you. Think properly.
Yeah, understanding one's strength, realizing what you can do are the key aspects of entering into freelancing industries. Unless you know that you are clear about what you want to achieve, no point getting into this industry. It sucks
Correct.
you.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Yes, yes. I
It's
think
really just I would just want to make one point.
please.
You know, the industry out there, once we are in the job, we are safe. I think already highlighted this point. Once we enter into the outside world, it's like a jungle out there. It's say like it's not easy, being alone and doing everything on your own. So my thing is you need to plan it well in advance, and that vision should be there. The vision is the most important thing. If you have the vision, then that will only motivate you through your journey. When you are in the lowest of times, that vision and the vision you have, that is only going to pull you through.
Yes. In fact, I was about to ask you this question: what motivates one to keep floating? In fact, this answered my question. Vision is, keeping vision motivates one to keep afloat. It was nice conversing with both of you. In fact, with Pranith as well. We lost him in between. Nevertheless, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for accepting my invitation and coming in here in this platform, sharing your experiences and learnings. We will definitely
Thank
air
you
this.
to you.
No, it is always my pleasure. We would like to continue this conversation offline as well. Be in touch with each other, share learnings and experiences, and any opportunities that might arise with this conversation. Please share it with each other.
Right.
With that note, I would like to move forward and then close this conversation.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Rohit. Thanks a lot, Rohit.
Yeah. Have a good night, both of you.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.